Welcome to the Spartan Update Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Giorgio. It's currently a nice 57 degrees outside with the sun showing through. I'm here with my co-hosts, Danny.
What's up, guys?
And my guest for today, Mr. Maffei.
Hello.
How we doing, everybody? How's it going today?
I'm pretty good. I had a nice pork roll this morning. It was nice. Good way to start the day.
I didn't eat breakfast this morning.
I'm a little nervous. I don't know what these podcast things are.
You just talk. Pretend we're having a conversation.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
What did you eat for breakfast this morning?
I had a Metrex bar.
What?
A Metrex bar.
I don't know what that is.
I'm a fat guy, so I eat protein bars in the morning
Okay.
in like the attempts that I'm going to like lessen the calorie count over the whole day and feel like I'm putting like a healthy, clean thing in my body.
I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah, I don't know if it works. Look at me.
I mean, I don't know. Better
Works in
than-
your head. It's all
I
that
don't,
matters.
I don't eat anything in the morning.
Well, my
so.
head's not any fatter, at least.
That's all you need.
It's true. All right. So, Maffei, I had a few questions that I wanted to ask you. First of all, what are some of the video games that you like to play in your free time? Like, what are your favorite ones to go to right now, and what are your favorite ones of all time?
Well, if you know me, I play a lot. Right now, everybody's playing Elden Ring. 12
Yeah.
million copies in 18 days.
Wow.
Everybody's playing it. Elden Ring has so many options for people to go at and get into. So, I mean, really cool game. I also like the whole dying aspect in it. Like, to get to the end, you have to actually die a bunch of times. Nobody gets through anything without dying or
Yeah.
having a hard time. I got Horizon Zero Dawn loaded in there. I also have new Kirby on the way. So those are the games I'm looking forward to right now.
Mm-hmm.
But top game that I'm looking forward to in the future is that new Lego Star Wars.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
dude. I'm
yeah.
so excited for that. I can't wait to.
I'm going to play.
I'm going to
so
100%
much of
the
that.
whole thing, I swear.
Probably will.
It's going to. Because I remember playing those on the like Windows XP or like Windows 7 when I was really, really young on like a little computer that was in the cabinet, and that was like my favorite game.
Yeah, they were dope, right?
Yeah, it was
I
awesome.
played
dude.
it. I played it on the Wii, and then in high school, I found an app for it. Like I found like the whole game like an app, and I only paid like $7 for it on my phone. I have the whole game, like the whole complete saga.
Is a game sweeter when you pay less for it?
A little bit.
I mean, yeah, I think so. It depends on the game.
It's the same. It's the exact same game. Like it feels
Yeah,
like the
exactly.
exact same.
Yeah, I know a game gets more sour when you pay a lot for it and it's really short.
Yeah.
You're like, I paid $60 for 12 hours? Like, what's that all about?
Well, you know, I just went back the other day, and I think Danny did this too. We went back and bought Assassin's Creed Black Flag because it was on sale.
Best Assassin's Creed
Oh
ever.
my god, dude,
Yeah.
it's so good. I've beaten the game when I first bought it. I beat it like 4 times, and I just beat it again.
Oh, you
So
finished
much
it already?
fun. Yeah, it was on sale for like $8, and it made it that much better.
I have not finished it. I've been taking my time with that. Like I'm probably a good gotta be at least like 14, 15 hours in.
Well, it's funny. You play that game, right? And then you realize how much it hooks you when you're playing like sea shanties in your
Dude,
car.
oh my god,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I have like a sea shanty playlist on my Spotify because of that game. It's
Right.
because it's so catchy. I don't know. You just find yourself singing along.
That's what I did. Like I went and hunted down like a lot of sea shanties.
Right.
Especially the ones I wanted.
They're difficult to get, too.
Yeah, you,
Some of them
you
are
really
kinda
have to
hard.
chase them, dude.
Some of them are.
And you find out how awful like Ben Franklin and people like that were,
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that in these games. So it's crazy. Like the sea shanties are good, but I mean Assassin's Creed in general are decent up to a point, and then you've just played the same game over and over again.
Yeah, it is. Well, because I don't know. But you think if they strayed too far away from that, people would stop liking it.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, like, it does get to be repetitive. It does get to be the same thing. But if they were to change that, their fan base would be outraged.
Well, that's what happened when they changed the essentially changed their combat system.
Yeah, everyone
for,
was like, "This is awful."
They changed it for Origins, I think.
Or Unity. They changed
Unity.
it
They changed it in Unity, and like people like flipped out about that.
I
Like,
did
were
because it wasn't fun anymore. Because
Yeah,
I actually
people-
had to concentrate instead of just being able to hold down B and be invincible. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah, you're right.
they had one counter button and it would never failed. So you just counter every time.
It was all you did was counter
you
kill,
hit
counter
B and
kill.
X and it was counter kill and it was an instant kill every time. It was the easiest combat ever.
No, that game too. Black Flag is great, and you think you're really good at it until you start hunting those legendary ships.
Yeah, dude, those
And
things
then you
are
get
Oh
schooled,
my
right?
god.
those
I
things are
am like
impossible.
so atrociously bad at sailing.
Yeah, I'm not great at it either. I'm like
Like-
a brute force type sailor where I just get up
Yeah.
next to them, I just spam the trigger and I just keep firing.
Like, I
Like,
hate trying to take-
hopefully I can outshoot them.
I hate trying to take down naval forts.
Yeah, it's-
because they just come at you.
they have the mortars
so
and everything.
hard.
Well, you
Yeah.
can't do the naval forts suck because it totally blows my strategy out of the water. Because I'd be the worst ship captain because I'm gonna ram you with my ship first.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna run my ship, which is not a good
You
strategy.
can't ram a concrete building.
No.
Yeah, and those are impossible. And then fighting those, because I beat the mission a couple days ago where you had to find the man of war and you'd like take it down.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was that was so hard for me. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm not about strategy or anything like that. Like I said, I just run into them and then I just broadside them and keep shooting at them, and I can't do that with a Man of War, so I actually had to have strategy, and I
don't even have
took me
strategy.
so
I just
long
use
to
my
beat.
strategy, like, kind of just run in, like, shoot and run out. And I just kind of hope that works sometimes. And sometimes it does, and a lot of the time it doesn't.
Like, I definitely have a spastic kind of like chaotic strategy with all games. Like
Yeah,
playing
same.
Elden Ring last night, this boss kept killing me. You know, what if I run across this ledge? And he fell off. I was just like, this is great. This is a great strategy.
I've seen a lot of bosses like that. Let them they're on like ledges. You just like hop off the ledge and they'll just follow you and they'll go right off.
Is that a W?
If you
It
think it's
counts.
worth it. Like if you get frustrated for long, like if you're stuck on that boss for like 4 or 5 hours and you find that, it's worth that.
Yeah.
I would laugh really hard if that happened to me though. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you're like, this boss is supposed to be really hard to beat, and then they just jump off a ledge, and you're like, yeah.
It's like the same thing with the Spider-Man game when you're going to fight Taskmaster, and you can just start as soon as the fight starts, you can just like kick him off the ledge, and that's it.
That's cool, though.
That's so much better than like
That's the best
actually
part.
fighting him.
It's like that the Indiana Jones scene. I forget it. It was
With the
Oh,
gun.
I know
with the
one.
gun, which
Yeah.
originally was supposed to be like an actual fight scene, but
Right.
apparently he had like
He had dysentery.
he had dysentery at the time, and so like he had to go to the bathroom, and so he just shot the dude and walked off. The director was like, "We're gonna use that."
It's good comedy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But the same thing. Like, I'm always like that in I played Dying Light. I finished it. I'm like that in Dying Light too. It's like, that's how it's all about stealth. I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna run past everything.
Well, isn't it just a recommendation on how they want you to play the game?
Yeah.
That's what I like about.
Well, if you're stubborn enough, it's always a recommendation.
Yeah. But you guys are both gamers.
Oh, yeah, for
right?
sure.
So you ever play someone who's serious about football and Madden?
yeah.
Me.
Yeah, like I'll play people in you and I'll win sometimes. And they'll be like, how do you win? You know nothing about football. I go, I run on every fourth down. I do everything you're not supposed to do in football. And you can win being a gamer playing outside the rules.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
something you should
that's-
check out.
You win, yeah, and it's sometimes it's more gratifying to win like that too, because like, wow, I just outsmarted the game developer, like, because they don't want you to win that way.
No.
And then you
there's always
post it
a
on
fi-
YouTube, and then
Yeah.
everyone's doing it.
Yeah, there's a fixed set of rules.
Yeah.
And there are ways outside of all of those rules. So why not do it?
It's more. It can be more fun that way.
It can be more
That's how I
fun.
did with Dying Light, man. I would just like, I don't know, like if people you're supposed to run away from, like I would just charge straight at and like just try and beat. And then like they have those areas to the buildings that had all the zombies during the daytime, and you had to like sneak past the sleeping ones, and you had to like get to a certain area. I just ran past them.
Like zombies, they don't eat. They don't really do anything but like flesh and stuff like that. Like, why do they need to sleep?
Yeah,
That's what I really like about
for game purposes.
I liked
Yes.
Fallen Order a lot because like it was kind of like the same thing, except you didn't really like have anyone that had like to run from, and so it wasn't like a concrete strategy, but like there was never like you have to do this and this specifically to beat whatever boss you're fighting, except for like the last fight. But like that was Darth Vader without.
Yeah, I do like when they leave you with some options.
Well, that's gratifying, right? What do they call that? Like a merging narrative
Yeah.
where you solve the game and you solve the game and I solve the game completely different. It makes me feel kind of smart at the end.
Yeah.
Even though maybe I'm not clever or smart at all, at least you feel good about yourself. And maybe that's the point of the game.
I mean, I hope that would make people come back more, especially if there's multiple endings. They might want to come back and try multiple endings. Because
Do you ever wonder if we ever use these strategies in life, would it work out as similar?
what if you just brute force everything and just run straight through it instead
Exactly. Like, you run into class, like, give me my assignment. You do it really quick, like, I'm off to my next
I'm
class.
gonna try that in Mr. Williams' math class today. We have a quiz today. I'm gonna sprint in there and be like, "Give me the quiz now."
Exactly.
And then I'm gonna.
Done. Here you go. I'd like
and then
the
I run
next
out of the classroom.
Give me the final.
Just trying to speed run school today.
That probably works in something. I mean, there are people who treat life like that.
Right. And just like trick him by like bringing up like English questions or something from science class. Like, let's talk about China today, Mr. Williams.
Mr. Williams was talking about you the other day. I forget what he said.
I hope nice things.
I
called you a fool, a clod, and
I
numbskull.
think he did.
He's not wrong.
I think they were nice things.
Those are polite words.
It doesn't matter now. You said Mr. Because I never had with Mr. Williams before I had you.
Yeah.
And then you were like, "Oh, I'm Mr. Williams, like bully."
Yeah.
But
Well, that's what he's coined me as.
yeah. But then I was like, I saw him and I was like, "It's such a nice dude." I was like, "How could you do this to him?" I was like,
He's so nice. He's passionate. And by far, the best math teacher I've ever seen
yeah,
in my
seriously, dude. I was never a big math guy,
Yeah.
but he makes me like want to do as good as I can in his class, like, because it's just like he's like he's like a dad. You just want to like you want to win his like his pride, you know? Like
Oh, absolutely.
like if I get an A on this quiz, he'll be proud of me. And I was like, I want that, you know?
But when you start my class, in the first 2 days, I tell you I'm a villain.
Yeah,
I explain that I'm a villain, and when I see a beautiful Jenga tower, I just want to pull the bottom blocks out. You know, and Mr. Williams is really strong and built well, and I just want to put a few chinks in that armor. So
yeah, he is like that. That's funny. I love his class though. Just in all seriousness, he's like one of the top classes I've had.
is there a math teacher who's more passionate, who cares more about what he's delivering, and is like into his subject? I don't know.
And he always says that he's like, I genuinely and really enjoy math, and I just want to like teach my passion to kids. I was like, I respect that and I appreciate it.
He's also like he's not like just passionate about like math. Like he cares about his students. Like even like, people who aren't his students. Like I've friends that I never took his class, but like he knows me and like knows the stuff that I do.
Right.
And
he takes the time out of his day to get to know his students.
yeah, like there was like he's like an avid reader of like local papers, and there was like a small like article about me in the Today paper, and he read it and was like he came up to me when I was like coming in late. Oh no, we were walking around.
Which you do every day.
Either one.
Some days. It doesn't matter.
Anything to not be in class.
Yeah, but like he comes up to me and like he stops me, and he's like, "Oh, I saw you in the Today paper. Like it was really cool. Like it was really fun. Like seeing you there." I was like, "Oh, thank you, Mr. Willems."
Well, look at him. Dig a little deeper, like all your teachers. You know, you think that that's just what they are. They're in a can and they live in the school. But avid high school athlete, really successful, video gamer like us. Talk to him about games. He plays the same games
I talk to him
we played.
about Dying Light every day.
That. Let's see what else he's into. Obviously soccer. Huge soccer fan.
Yeah.
Music. No one ever talks to him about music. The man knows more about like the surf rock, like beach scene music than anybody I've ever met.
He plays some cool music when we walk in the classroom, I have to say.
No, he's a solid, good dude teaching in a school. Like you wonder how he found his way here.
Yeah, seriously. I wonder what his like college major was. They were like, because most teachers, you know, they don't like yourself. They don't intend to be teachers when they get out of college or search for their first career. They often end up there through a series of events.
Yeah.
So I wondered. I seriously doubt he meant to be a teacher. I wonder what he was going for originally.
I've seen him change over the years I've been here.
Oh, really?
He was before he had kids and everything in his life, he was very tight about how he taught, and he's relaxed, and the style he's developed is so cool.
Yeah, it really is. I guess I'm glad I didn't have him in his first year.
Yeah, I'm proud to call him a friend. So
Yeah,
in
that's
this building,
awesome.
you know, you don't know who your friends and enemies are anywhere you work in this world, but he's definitely a friend of mine.
Yeah, it seems like there's a decent amount of workplace politics in the school. I
can't-
don't care. I can say that. Who's going to stop me?
No, nobody. Well, there is. In every job you go to, there are going to be workplace politics. There's always someone with a different opinion than yours or hates you for some reason, being good or bad. But to bring up a full circle around, how great that man is we just talked about, how amazing he
Yeah.
is, then me, the villain, has to come in and really
Really take him out.
take him out.
You're not the villain, dude. You can't. I mean, I guess you can brand yourself that way, but you're not going to be branded by other people that way.
Just because you don't know me so well.
I guess so, yeah. But you know, people love you, man. They come to your class all the time. You don't see that with off. Like, I always something I want to tell teachers, but I knew I couldn't. Is like if students are leaving your class to go to the bathroom every single second, they hate you. Like
Yeah, there's a heads up there.
they don't like your class and they want to leave. Like
Right.
you should change something, you know, like. But you are the opposite. You have kids coming from other classes coming into your class, which means
Doing something right.
doing something right, man. You know.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, I come in here. It's funny. I had a big interaction this last weekend where a student came by my house, and it doesn't happen often, and it's a little bit creepy.
Yeah,
But
I don't
he,
think I would I would
Well-
not like it if I were you and someone came to my doorstep.
No, absolutely. And he graduated about 13 years ago.
Oh.
Wife, baby, came to my door. Didn't know who it was at first. Had gone to jail. Got out of jail, got his life straight, doing HVAC, life's great. Came up to my door, rang my bell, found me to tell me I saved his life. And I thought for a second, like, if I've saved this guy's life and helped this guy through everything that he's done, there's always got to be the counter positive. Like, how many people have I messed up? You know? And you
True.
think about that, like, if you help this person, there's got to be people you're doing negative stuff. So when you guys tell me these things, it's super heavy. Like, I come in every day and just do me.
I know, and people like spending time around you, man.
No, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with being a likable character in this world, but it's like, at the end of the day, you think, wow, I didn't realize I was having this impact. I didn't realize that people were actually really listening to me, because in a high school class, it's hard to believe someone's
Yeah,
listening
well,
to
yeah,
you.
no, because you have the attention of students in a way that very few teachers have gathered. Like, I mean, my other teachers, they don't really get that kind of attention, you know.
And we learned some stuff. I mean, a lot of people, I hear people all the time be like, well, I feel like Maffei's class, sometimes we're not doing things. But there's a whole big method to my madness, you know, and I try to sneak things in. Like the whole current events section, people don't even realize why I'm doing that. You know, it's an entertainment show that you come into every day to grab your attention and understand, like, what you're doing has a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I'm just trying to give you real stuff that you engage with instead of all the fake stuff that's put at you every day.
That's true. I mean, I took that class. First of all, I had you for networking the first year, which was
During
it was
COVID.
a whole different experience. I wish I could take it again so I could actually like make wires and get the routers working. And,
Right.
Because I wish I had that knowledge, you know, because it doesn't stay the same way in your brain when that's all you can do is like Google it. You know?
Yeah, and you're a talented person with computers.
Yeah, that's why I took PC hardware.
You know?
Partially because I knew the class was going to be fun, especially with all these guys in it.
Right.
And then the other half was because I love computers, and I'm going into computer science to become a programmer. So
Yeah, that's why I threw that really difficult build at you. I figured, what's the point of giving this guy something that's cake?
yeah.
You know?
And I did it.
Oh, absolutely.
You did it well, though.
It was so hard, man. Those pins, dude. They had the pins, the PCIe, like the pin slot in the most inopportune spot. Like, I had to like.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I was proud of myself for doing it. So.
But you got the patience. That's the whole point behind it.
Yeah.
People think that it's all about knowledge. It's not. It's all about, can I tolerate doing something that drives me crazy for like 45 minutes at a time
I wouldn't.
and failing?
I was getting frustrated doing wire management on the easy one, on
Yeah.
the easy builds.
Yeah, wire management gets me. You should see my computer at home. My computer at home is built almost perfectly, except for like my wires are just like I don't know. I just don't like. I don't like going through it and like grabbing all these wires and like trying to put the place in, and then yeah, I feel like it's just too much of a hassle. Yeah, my wire management at my home computer is awful. It really is. Like if you should, I have like obviously I have like 20 wires in the back of my desk because I have like.
Right.
Nice speakers with the subwoofers and like multiple monitors and a monitor that's like curved, and then I got my computer and like a bunch of USB stuff.
So you're struggling.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's just a mass of wires behind my desktop, and there's no kind of organization to it at all. Things are tangled, things are back, but it works, you know.
Oh, yeah. It's funny, like my room, like when you're in there, it's chaos. Like the wires everywhere and things everywhere. But at home, everything I have is tight. Like this setup here. This setup here is from a person just like me who tightens their wires up and makes sure everything's perfect.
Mr. Plano's definitely like that.
Yeah, I think that's why we got along so well.
Yeah. Did you guys start working around here at the same time?
No, he's been here way longer than I am. He's pretty much an artifact here at Ocean.
Really? How long has he been
He's been
here
he's
for?
been for a while.
Yeah,
How-
no, he
He's
might
been
be
here
up by 20 years maybe.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
He's got because they started Spartan Update in like late '90s.
I guess that makes
So I
sense
mean,
why
he's
he's
got
so
to
relaxed.
he's got to
then.
be been
Mhm.
here for.
Once you're here for that long, you're just kind of like, I got this, you know?
No, he's been here, and look at this beautiful program he's built here.
Yeah,
you know,
seriously.
honestly.
This is a great class.
And it's still being improved.
Yeah.
Like even this year, like we just got that switchboard.
It's really
couple
a
weeks
shame that
ago.
more people didn't take the class this year.
Yeah, but like
But also, it made it more fun because it's just you, me, Justin, and Mike, and that's like
yeah, but like while it broadens and then also ultimately restricts what we can do because we can like have more stuff to do for each of us, but then we can't like do more things. Like we've written like 2 scripts.
we're probably never gonna get to film.
We might film one of them, but like the one I wrote definitely we're not
Yeah.
gonna be able to film just because it's like.
But it
We
enables
only have
you know, I
4
would never be
people.
able to have any of this equipment at my house. You know, like I don't have that kind of money.
No, this is also like state of the art stuff.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Well, think about it. Like we've done projects before in the past, and I joked that I have no idea, but I was there the day we bought the lights. We used to have the rig run by GoPros in the center, doing stuff together.
It's cool.
Like this is what he's built in his own life that he thinks is great, and then he brings it in here and shares it with you. Is there a
Yeah.
better application of your own knowledge than to bring something that you've developed in the professional world and
No,
teach it
not
to
really.
someone
And
younger?
it's great when you watch other people love it just as much as you do. You know.
Right,
When
and
you watch someone who has the same passion for you, like get to experience that for the first time. You know.
yeah, and you guys are really natural. Like I've sat down hundreds of podcasts, and people aren't natural, are really tight, don't know how to talk to other people. This whole interface freaks them out, and you guys are really natural and doing it well. You can make a living doing this.
That's you know what? That's really funny because that's what I got told by Mr. Deepas Squad like a week ago.
Yeah.
because I did
Another cool dude.
Yeah, I like him. He's awesome. He
Yeah.
helped me with my whole like situation around classes and stuff like that. Although he couldn't get me into your class, he did really try.
Yeah, no. I think they're set up just to say no because so many people ask.
Yeah, I did try to get into networking. You're the Block 2 class, but
Right.
no go on that. I tried really hard, but that's besides the point. Because I was setting up they asked me to do an informational video on the NJ GPA testing that's taking place right now last week.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I was like, oh, so it felt like I was filming a government propaganda video because they handed me a sheet of questions that I was going to ask them, and they were going to ask them as if I had not been given the questions.
Oh, you should have put on like a black suit and did this whole Kafka-esque approach to it and spun around in a chair like you were part of the state.
They didn't give me any notice. I walked into class the day of, and they were like, hey, you're doing this. I was like, okay. And then Mr. Deepas Squad afterwards was like, wow, dude, you're a natural at this. I was like, yeah, maybe.
No, definitely. You know,
I just like talking.
Well, it's funny because after doing this all these years, there's comedy support, or people sit on the side, or people who bring you down rabbit holes, or things like that. And I found I was really good at that, but I'm no showrunner. You're a showrunner.
Again, man, it's not anything I've practiced. I just like to talk.
I don't know if
Which
you
I
can
wasn't
develop
always
it.
like that either. I used to be he knows. He's been my friend for
Kindergarten?
since kindergarten. He's my friend for forever, and we'll probably still be friends during college and after that too.
Yeah.
So he knows I wasn't always this extroverted. I really wasn't. And I don't know, one day I just changed. Like, I used to get so anxious to like public speak and I had a presentation in my class, I would like throw up the night before.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah.
Genuinely.
I was like the same way.
I had an AP Euro presentation, and then the next day, and I was so nervous for it. Meanwhile, the class I'm presenting to has 8 people. 8.
Right.
And I threw up the night before that presentation.
I wonder why.
I used to have this extreme fear of public speaking, which I guess something must have happened at some point where I got embarrassed during it, and it gave me like a permanent fear that I had to get over. But I don't really care about it now.
I still have that same problem. I have huge amounts of social anxiety. People who know me well know it. That's why when I was asked to do this at first, I'm like, no, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mr. Muro's asked me to do things in her class, and I just don't want to do it. And
Yeah, you're
I
not doing
hate
Mental
speaking in front of
Monday anymore.
adults. I can't do it. I can't do the adult thing. Most people don't get where I'm coming from in the adult scene. So they always ask me to do these in-services, and like for a week long, I'm not sleeping. I don't know how to feel when I get in there. But talking to you guys
what exactly
is easy.
is an in-service?
It's when you come in and teachers help other teachers learn things, or you promote like educational development about teachers becoming a better teacher.
So are you teaching other teachers about technology? Is that what you're doing?
Sometimes that's what I do, or sometimes we come in and it's like, wow, this strategy worked on controlling a class, or this strategy worked on motivating your students.
So do you tell them your strategy?
No, because my strategy doesn't work for other people.
True.
Your strategy is like so just like
Well, because
out
you
of
have
the
to
box.
be be
Yeah.
friendly with their students, and so many teachers have a wall against being friendly. They have to be professional. You know what I'm saying? Like they have this. I don't know. I would call it a wall. It is a wall,
Right.
like of being professional, so you can't be friendly.
Right.
And then you lose the respect of your students that way because they don't see you as a person; they see you as a teacher.
Yeah. How many times have you seen me answer emails or fill out paperwork or do work that I have to do for school in class?
Not super often.
Very
no,
rarely.
yeah.
Yeah, because when we get free time or people are spinning off, because I like to teach different levels at one time, let people go further if they want to go further, and people who hate the elective stop.
Right, like in the PCR work.
But I'm truly here to get to know each student and try to make a relationship, because the reason I wanted to be a teacher was because I saw this industry almost, and there was no alternative. You come in here and you get this one type of teacher, and I wanted to be that different teacher who, I don't know, made you feel safe, comfortable enough to talk.
Well, that's why the kids like coming into your class because
Yeah.
you're not the same as like, your typical English or math teacher. You know.
Right. And I'm not
I know
going
you
to
did have to
knock
teach
him
math.
Yeah, well, I used to a long time ago.
How was
I was a
that?
good math teacher too.
Yeah. What did you teach?
I was at the beginning, so I started here after working like in the private industry, and I had no teaching experience. So they threw me in a classroom. My first day in the classroom was my first day in the classroom. So I didn't know the rules
Wow.
or the way to do things, and I started right like everybody else does. Algebra 1, freshman.
Oof.
Yeah, and you learn why people don't
That's why
usually
you don't
enjoy
have freshmen in your
freshmen.
class anymore. Yeah.
The jokes don't go over as well. You know?
Yeah, they don't. They're very.
Freshmen aren't adjusted to high school yet, so they just hear stuff and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they don't like nothing like actually like sticks with them too.
Right.
They don't because they don't. Well, they don't have teachers like you in middle school, dude.
No.
Well, I mean,
Except for Mr. McGrade.
Yeah.
Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Mr.
Rest in
McGrade.
peace.
Yeah.
But he was a special teacher.
absolutely.
He got me in. He's the one who got me into like super being into history.
Right.
He was my 6th grade history teacher.
I hear he was super real.
He,
Oh yeah.
just like you,
Yeah.
just a person who enjoyed teaching history.
Right.
He wasn't a teacher and you rule with an iron fist. He was a big, pretty scary dude, but like he was also like relaxed. And he was like, this is what I like to learn. If you don't want to learn it, it's up to you. You'll fail, and I won't have a problem with it.
Yeah, and I think more teachers should be like that. If I have to wear a costume to work and hide who I am, what am I doing here? If I don't like children or kids in general, what am I doing
And
here?
you shouldn't have to baby students either, I don't think. Like,
No.
if a student doesn't want to do it, let them fail. That's
Right,
all. Yeah.
absolutely. And a lot of teachers aren't about joking with their students or even teasing them a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think like a natural little like rapport goes a long way. That's how your friends act with you. That's how you guys deal with
And that's
each
how
other.
you gain the students' respect as well.
Right.
Yeah. There was
to take and to give.
There was
Yeah.
no other teacher who gained my respect like Mr. McGrade, because back when I had him in 6th grade, there was this one day where like I got into a fight, like, and it wasn't like
I remember that.
yeah, like it wasn't like anything, like it was kind of like a spur of the moment thing. Like
Danny was the hero that day.
yeah, like I was the good guy. Like there was this, like an 8th grader.
He was making fun of other kids.
No, he was like kicking this like 5th grader who I'm still like friends with to this day. Like I'm super close to this guy
Right.
who I stood up for, and I'm like, dude, like stop. And he comes with this, he's like, oh, make me. So like
So Danny punches him in the
no,
face.
no, 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 no. No, I shoved him first.
Right.
And like I shoved him to get him to stop. And like I shoved him, like I didn't shove him, like I shoved him hard.
Violence isn't the answer, Danny.
But it's a good solution. So he turns around and he punches me.
Yeah.
And like spur of the moment, like I just came down and like punched him, like black eye and everything. And like every
You gave him
like
the Cholet claw.
He was.
Oh, yeah.
He was.
I gave him the whole one
he
too.
He did not swing again. He was out after that, dude.
But like I go to the office. I only spent 1 day suspended, just because like I was like
I
standing
still
up
remember
for
this.
him.
I was there when Mr. McGrade came up to you.
Yeah. So like every teacher, like the next day, either like didn't mention it, or like kind of mention it, but in like a derogatory way. So like they kind of wanted to shame me for it, just because
Right.
like it's the no fighting, zero tolerance
Yeah.
policy. And then I come in. Mr. McGrade is my last class today. I'm in Ryan's class, and he comes up to me. He goes, "I heard you got into a fight for standing up for a kid." I was like, yeah. So and he shakes my hand.
Right.
And then, like that,
That was
like
just
I remember that day like so vividly.
that was the kind of person he was.
Because it just
Yeah.
made like such an impact on me and like how I was, because I was also a very like anxious kid, and like I had so many emotions about what I had done, and I wasn't getting like, besides at home, like my parents were obviously giving me like super positive reinforcement about it.
I know
like,
your dad was like, yeah.
Oh yeah, because he was giving Maffei a lot of crap. Sorry, for
Write that down.
write that down. I can leave crap. But like, he was giving the business for like even suspending me remotely.
Right.
And he was like, "Why are you going to suspend my kid for standing up for someone else?" And Mr. Mel was like, "Yeah, but it's like I know, but it's something we have to do." So I, mean, I only got the 1 day of in-school suspension, so maybe it was like nothing. But
And it's in 6th grade. It's not like college
Yeah.
care. Like,
Mr. Malik?
Maffei.
Oh, Malif.
yeah.
But like Miss McGrade, like that day just made such an impression on me.
Right.
And like I still
It's
remember
the little things like that you remember about people. You
Yeah,
know?
Well, right now, you look at it in retrospect. Did you do the right thing?
absolutely.
Then what's the problem with that? As
Yeah.
long as you're all right with it. There's this whole culture in school to subscribe to that groupthink and never solve problems outside the box.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're not doing that, then you're not really a person. You're just following someone else's rules and someone else's way of doing things, and you're trying to put everything into a box. And maybe you're going to hesitate. Maybe that kid would have gotten beaten up.
And it's not going to make you feel better either if you conform to everyone else's. Like, because you're not going to be unique in any way, and it's going to make you feel kind of like a clone almost, you know. And you're going to feel kind of unsatisfied with what you've done.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is doing it too.
Well, right in this culture now, if you deviate outside the norm or think any way you want to think differently than what's happening right now, you're like considered evil or bad or doing things wrong. But to actually look at a situation and assess it as a real adult, that's a great thing. And you did that at a young age. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome to hear, you know. People,
Yeah.
people
But
not,
just, like-
not caring, you know.
Yeah, because it's such like a stigma, especially in schools, towards fighting and like violence. Especially because for the last 10 years, there's been such a movement
Right.
about why violence is just never the
And
answer.
for a while, they blamed it on video games
For a while.
until the research came out that it wasn't.
Yeah.
No,
but
yeah.
like sometimes it is. Like I hate to say it, like because like it sounds so bad when you first say it, but like sometimes it is like it helps.
Well, there's a resort,
Yeah.
There's a line that can be drawn, and that's where maybe it comes into play. But someone's got to decide, and they have the quote right in the cafeteria about good people standing up to evil, And if you don't stand up, nothing happens. Well, there you had to stand up.
Right. And like I'm such a good friend. Like with the kid I stood up for, he's a junior now, and he goes to communications, but like he's. Like, I'm still, like, super close to him, and I wonder, like, had that not happened, like, I wonder if I would be as close with him as I am now.
Yeah, no, he probably still remembers that to this day.
Oh, I'm like, he does.
I would love to hear his take on the story.
Yeah,
and
me
then
too.
I'd like to bring the kid who was bullying and his take on the story. It would be like Jaws being like the winner in the Jaws movie. Like, I was just sitting there having a good time in the hallway, and then this Cholak kid came up and started at me. So...
No, this was on the bus, right?
Yeah.
I was on the bus.
It was on the bus, yeah.
Wow, fighting on the bus is even tougher. That's like a Jackie Chan film.
Yeah, it's like
A little, honestly.
You're like,
because he was in the seat in front of me.
Right.
And my friend Mark, he's to the left of the kid.
Yeah.
So he's like kicking him like outwards like that. And so I shoved him and he turns around and punches me. So I punch him and pretty much jump over the seat and just kind of start going at him until the bus driver came and just like ripped me off of him. Like ripped me off and like practically threw me off the bus into Mr. Malef, and there I went to the office.
It was on the way?
No, the bus was stopped.
It was on the way to school, though?
No,
Was it on the way
we were
home?
at the school, and they let you
didn't
out.
even leave yet.
They let you out at a certain time.
Got it.
so you were on the bus waiting to
going.
leave the school.
Yeah, like we were. This is the beginning of the day, so we were like ready to go into school.
Oh, okay.
And from that day forward, he always wore a cape.
Yeah.
That kid never messed with him again. That's what my dad always used to say, is that, like, if a kid's messing with you and you punch him,
Okay.
it doesn't even matter if you win the fight or not, he's not going to mess with you again.
No.
The kid actually lost his bus privileges.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you can. Like,
They hit him hard.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know. I didn't know you could do it. Like you could just like not be able to take the bus.
Give me your bus pass. The question is, after that, did you have a special connection to Batman after that?
Oh yeah.
Did you
We're
feel
going
like...
to see that tonight.
Nice.
Well, we
I'm
plan
so
to.
excited. We plan to.
Do you look now for crimes to solve as you're scanning like theaters?
Oh yeah,
and,
every day.
like,
Every
malls and
day,
stuff?
like I actually like perch on top of the school
Yeah.
and just look for trouble.
Right. Well, when dark of night happens, Danny will be there.
And then I see someone jaywalking and I beat them up.
No, I actually memorized the entire Green Lantern Corps mantra
nice.
because just for that.
That's really great.
Like just in case I have to solve some crime,
I would love to see what your superhero costume would look like.
I would probably look really goofy. It probably look like
It's his track uniform.
Do you have you thought of a name yet that you would be?
No, but I figure like
I'm
a
the
costume.
bus monitor.
My costume would look pretty similar to the live action Peacemaker costume.
Nice.
Because I think that would look really cool on me. And
A funnier than expected show too.
Oh yeah, the show was great. So I think that would be a really good look for me.
Oh, so how does it feel to be friends with a superhero?
It's got its ups and downs.
Are you his Robin?
I could be.
Interesting.
Occasionally, you're
do
like
I have to put in like a formal application or like? Is it like does he pick? Or?
If you're gonna pick one of the Robins, don't pick one of the ones that died.
Yeah. It's up there.
well, listen, Jason Todd's my favorite Robin. So
Oh, I guess I can be him. I don't know, man. I gotta be.
yeah,
a
well,
be a
just so you
sidekick,
know,
I'll do your
if you
research
pick
for
Jason
and
Todd,
then-
the fans at
or
first.
I could be Alfred.
That's true. You could be. Yeah, but you want to be. Actually, no,
Nice.
Yeah.
Good way to segment away from the sidekick.
Yeah. I could be like a really like informal Alfred.
No,
I'd be like-
Danny, I would have thought he would have picked like Nightwing or something. But
Yeah, I feel like you'd be.
Yeah, like, what's
no,
up? What's
I
up,
feel like-
Batman?
I feel like if Ryan was a Robin, he would be Tim Drake.
Okay.
Did Tim Drake die? I didn't see.
No,
it.
Tim Drake never. I think he probably did at one point. As did also.
You got there's someone out there going, yes, he died in comic book 176.
Yeah.
No, Tim Drake's like just
Lenny.
Yes.
Yeah, but Tim Drake is like that hyper intelligent Robin. That's like Bruce Wayne has considered Tim Drake to be like the best detective, like even better than him. So I feel like you would fill that role better than.
Am I a good detective? Would I be a good detective?
I feel like you would be. You definitely wouldn't be Jason Todd. He's too brash, and you wouldn't be.
Could you handle being a sidekick though?
As long as I get my own episode at some point.
That's
That's all you're looking for.
that's all you need. But you
Yeah,
definitely
but
would.
it's like a really good episode that people remember
All right.
as one of the highlights of the show. It's like one of those episodes where they like one of the side characters gets to be the star for like one episode, but it's like a really good episode. Everyone remembers it.
So not Damian Wayne.
See, I'd rather be the villain, like Mr. Freeze. Like,
Oh, I could totally be the villain too. I wouldn't mind being the Joker would be super fun, dude. I'm not even gonna lie.
But I'm trying to think who I could
could just-
associate you with as a Batman villain. Like
Joker.
No, come on, man.
I could, dude. Just saying.
Just so you know, I'm actually
You're
a
telling us something we
psychopath.
don't know.
Just so you know, I'm actually a psychopath. It could strike at any moment. But I'm Batman.
watch out,
but
man.
I'm Batman, so I'm ready at all times.
Yeah.
See, I'd rather be that villain that's not really a villain, and you look at it from a different perspective.
Like
maybe
Thanos?
he's not. Yeah, maybe he's not the villain. Maybe he was all right.
Yeah, like sometimes like during the Avengers movies, you're like, maybe he's got the right idea. It's like,
Thanos had some points.
Maybe Thanos was
like
right.
yeah, he's wiping out half of everything in the universe, but like also like he's doing it to save the universe in the long run,
And it was painless.
and it was painless.
But just double the resources.
Yeah.
I hate that argument so much. I hate that argument so much. It's so dumb.
What, the doubling the resources?
Yeah, it's like why would I have the universe? You can just double the resources, but the resources wouldn't fit, and also overproduction is.
Yeah, because you can't increase
Bad.
the amount of mass
And
without like setting.
Are
up
you going to go into modern economic theory next? You know, the supply chain crisis that would occur from this would just be incredible. We'd have no workers.
No, but I mean, what Batman's villains are there that you are like, maybe they're right.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, wow. People don't give credit because he kind of created Batman.
Yeah.
So,
He's one of my favorite Batman villains.
right.
He's cool. And he was done really well in live action, too, with
Absolutely.
Liam Neeson.
Fantastic.
That was, like, the best guy to play that role.
So, are you going in tonight's Batman with like anticipation, or are you going to go in comparing it to the Nolan Batmans?
I'm going with anticipation. Because I've actually never been a big superhero movie guy. I haven't seen a lot of the Batmans. I haven't seen a lot of superhero movies, but I'm going to see this just because it looks really, really good.
Right.
Because like it's also more of like a detective film. From what I've heard, I haven't watched it. It's more of a detective film.
And you get to see more of, from what I've heard, you get to see more of his thinking in his mind, you know?
How much darker can they really go?
Yeah,
with
really,
Batman,
you wonder.
Honestly.
Oh yeah, because like every time it's like we want a darker, grittier Batman, and
Yeah.
then we got Nolan, and it's like we want a darker, grittier Batman, and then we got Ben Affleck.
Eventually, you're just going to get a villain Batman.
Next, it's homeless Batman. You know? It's like out of his cardboard box, he comes with the Batmobile.
Dude, I'm excited, though. It's going to be great.
I hope
I
so.
hope so. That's people always say it's great because
People have been comparing it to like those top Nolan movies.
Yeah, and people have been saying like after the movie, they're like, "Oh, I've downloaded Batman's personality now, and it's mine."
Right. What about all the woke stuff that people are talking about? Do you ignore that? Do you go in with that in your back of your mind? People are talking about everything that comes out right now. There's some kind of like alternate perspective that makes you think that, wow, this might not be PC. This might not be appropriate. Someone always has an opinion. Do you think about that?
I don't think,
Yeah.
but I don't think about it until I see the movie myself, and I can get my own opinion. Because I also like I do appreciate the people who like kind of think that there's a deeper meaning, even though there isn't.
Right.
Because like it's just like a different perspective, and
At least you're thinking.
yeah, like sometimes it's nice to see people even overthinking, because then at least I know that people are actually like thinking in general.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about any of that stuff. You know,
Right.
I just want to see. I want to see Batman.
No, and Freud might be right. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, you know what? That reminds me of English class. How the English teachers overanalyze everything. I swear that some of the books we read do not have as deep a meaning as the teachers claim they do.
not all
The
these
Great
people could have been
Gatsby.
that
That is-
brilliant.
No,
That-
I'm dead like
That's directed
one
towards
of
The
these
Great
books that we
Gatsby.
read must have just been like a fluke.
Yeah.
And they're just like surface level reading, but people have interpreted it to be so much more.
Oh, no. If someone came out of my class and was like, I interpreted Maffei's PC hardware class as like a dichotomy of modern communism, we'd be like, yeah, that's what I meant.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, no.
How
if I
did
was
you
the
figure that
author, I'd be
out?
like that too. I'd be like, yeah, that's exactly what I meant by writing that. And then you seem so much smarter, and then people want to have you come on their podcast.
Absolutely. Do you think that's like people who aren't as like intellectually inclined, trying to make themselves look superior? Be like, I found the hidden meaning in like
dude.
the Wonder Pets.
You can't say any names, but there are people that are like, it's pseudo intellectualism.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
they say a whole bunch of fancy words that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
And then they're like, look how smart I am. You know, like.
I do that with tech to push people away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you know what you're doing with
Yeah,
tech.
it might have been the fluctuation of the green wire and it.
I love that though. Sometimes you can do it, mess with people though. You can just
Yeah.
make up stuff and be like, this is how it is, and then they'll be
Exactly.
like, what are you talking about?
It's
Like,
so fun messing with people. like I would think about one of the things I've done to people, like in conversation, if I'm really trying to mess with you, like I'm in a conversation. One time I just said no pun intended without saying a pun, and I saw the person like panic, trying to think of they laughed nervously, trying to think of the pun I said, and they were just like, what? I just kept going.
That's awesome.
Like no, I didn't say a pun, I didn't say anything, and they just like panicked. Like internally, you could see it too. It was so funny.
all right, it's time to wrap this up now because the block's about to end. So,
This is fun. Thanks for having me,
Yeah,
guys.
of course. All right, thanks for watching the Spartan Update podcast with your three boys. That's it for today. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. That's it.
All right.
Thank you for coming on.
Go well.
Very well.